Hi, I'm Nicole Roberts-Jones, and welcome to The Fierce Files. Now, what I know for sure is that one of life's greatest gifts will meet you when you go after your more. And so here is why I share with you thought-provoking insight and behind-the-curtain conversations with women who have reached the pinnacle of success because they went after their more. Now, I really want you to get this. One idea from these episodes can make a remarkable difference, not just in your career, but in your life. And I want to make sure you join the conversation in our Facebook group. So go to findyourfiercemovement.com. Now grab your pen and get ready for today's session of The Fierce Files. Hello out there. Nicole Roberts-Jones here. And of course, you know I have another phenomenal woman that is with us today on The Fierce Files. Her name is Jen Gottlieb. Now, Jen, between her 14-season run as a co-host on VH1 and her acclaimed starring role in a Broadway national tour, and yeah, I said Broadway, she's no stranger to the stage, film, TV, everything. But I want you to get this. She's now teaching others how to become the star of their own show. So Jen herself has used the media to build a multi-six-figure coaching business in the health and mindset space, right? She's been featured on CBS News, PBS, Good Morning Washington. She's frequently in publications like Shape, Self, Women's Health. I could go on and on. And in addition to all of that, as if that wasn't enough, right? Jen now collaborates with her life and business partner, Chris Winfield, to deliver Unfair Advantage Live, an event that gives ambitious entrepreneurs an all-access pass to the couple's extensive circle of media contacts. So listen, buckle your seatbelt because this girl is going to go all the way in. Welcome, Miss Jen.
Oh my God, Nicole, I am so excited to be here. It's so crazy hearing someone read your bio.
It's like, who is that? Right.
And I love the energy that you put behind it. I was like, oh, wow. But she's kind of cool. So it sounded way cooler when you read it. So I kind of want you to just read my bio all the time to me to make me feel better about myself.
But here's the thing. How could you not read that and not be excited about that? Because, you know, the thing that Jen and I have in common, and I don't know this, but I think I do. I feel like I've known you for years, even though I've probably known you for like 1 month. So the thing we have in common is the stage. So I grew up as a little girl, always wanted to be on stage, standing on somebody's chair, you know, doing something with a brush, thinking it was a microphone. And so I absolutely love your story. But even more than that, to meet Jen, you feel her spirit when you walk in the room. So Jen, tell the ladies that are listening, because it's not about how she got to that level of success. The thing I absolutely love about you is you left it all to do what you're doing now, right? Yeah. So in that moment when you decided, okay, listen, I could do Broadway, been there, done that. I could be on TV and be a co-host, been there, done that. How did you then decide to become a coach?
See, so what I like to tell people is that when you just listen and when you follow what feels good, it always leads you to your ultimate destiny, what you're supposed to be doing, like your sweet spot. And for me, you know, performing is what I love to do more than anything in the entire world. And you can probably relate to this. Like when I am on stage, you know, they tell you like, oh, you're in flow when time stops, right? You're in your zone of genius when like you could be doing it for hours and hours and hours and it feels like 1 second. When I am on stage, since I was a little girl, like that is where I am the happiest. That is when time stops. That is when I am just like nothing else in the entire world matters. And that still is true to this day.
Right.
But when I was working as an actress, it became very, very clear that there were parts of the lifestyle that just weren't in alignment for me, that I did not enjoy. Like I didn't enjoy, you know, I did a Broadway national tour. I traveled all around the country for a year performing on unbelievable stages. And in my dream role, and you know that I shared that at Unfair Advantage Live. So when I was on stage performing every night, I was the happiest person. But any other time when I was like going from hotel to hotel and sleeping on a bus and not having a home base and just feeling almost like a gypsy, like very displaced, that's not my personality. Like some people love that. They can do that. Right. For me, it was like, this piece is the piece of it that I don't like. And it was a really big piece of that life of being a working actor. So, you know, I knew that and that didn't feel good to me. So, and then with television, when I started doing the TV show, that I loved when the cameras were rolling, right? We had a live studio audience and I loved that part. Like I loved when we would be doing the actual show. But then we would shoot that show probably like sometimes 5 times a year. But during the interim, right, when you're an actor, you need to have something else that you do to make money, because number one, you never know when your show is going to get canceled or end.
Right.
You need another job, right? And number two, when you're not shooting, you need to be doing other stuff, and you need to do other stuff that fulfills you. So all of my other actor friends, most of them, they were waitresses, and believe me, I've done my fair share of waitressing when I was an actor, but they would wait tables, they would bartend, they would babysit. And I was like, I love performing. I love it so much, but I need to have this other gig. And I want this other gig to be something that I could potentially do forever as well.
And let me just stop you there, because Jen is dropping nuggets, and some of you guys don't even realize it. So I want to just recap real quick, and listen, I'm taking notes, so my recap is not always exactly. So please feel free to correct me. So one, I love that you said parts of the lifestyle were not in alignment with me. How many of you that are listening, you feel like that right now? And you probably didn't realize you felt like that until this moment when she said it. That there are parts of the thing that you do that just are not in alignment with who you be. And oftentimes we don't sit with our values. Oftentimes many women that I have the opportunity to meet don't even know what their values are. So how do you then know that something is bumping up against it to then say, something is not right with that. So that's one thing she said. And I want to make sure you got that. The second thing that people do not realize, and Jen and I had a quick chat before we started. We both worked in entertainment. People don't realize the non-sexy part. The stage and all that fun, that's great. But there's so much where you sit around and do absolutely nothing.
Yep, totally. So much, especially with television. You're sitting around doing nothing way more than you're doing something. Way more.
And people think it's so sexy because they see you on TV. But it's like, girl, for that 30-minute show, I probably sat around for 5 hours.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to stop here for a quick commercial break, and we'll be back for more. Are you ready to live in the true power of your gifts and talents and get paid for it? Hi, this is Nicole Roberts-Jones, and I'm inviting you to join me in a city near you for the Find Your Fierce Experience. Go to findyourfierceexperience.com to learn more. Listen, your fierce is the magic formula that so many successful, focused women just like you spin your wheels seeking, but sadly never find. So you get burned out and give up on the possibility of creating a business and a life that you actually love. But at the 4-hour workshop I'm sharing with you during the Find Your Fierce Experience, you will find the insight and action steps designed to give you everything you need to bankroll your brilliance. So go to findyourfierceexperience.com and see what city near you I'm coming to and grab your seat. I can't wait. An afternoon with me and you, of me giving you all you need to bankroll your brilliance. See you there.
And it's funny because, to just like parlay on the first part of what you said, wasn't in alignment with me. For I grew up thinking, all right, I want to be a performer. I want to be an actress. Right. And so this is what you have to do in order to do that. You should just go travel around the country and feel like a gypsy, even though it doesn't feel good to you. You should go and work and not make that much money, even though it doesn't feel good to you. Right. So I had all of these shoulds. Like sometimes, a lot of us, like we should all over ourselves. Like, no, I should be doing it this way.
Right.
It's the way you're expected to do it. Right. Even if it doesn't feel good.
Right.
And then finally, I was like, you know what? I'm going to be okay with saying this complete dream, the way that people typically do it, doesn't work for me. And I'm going to figure out a way to do it in a way that works for me.
Right. And I'm going to figure out a way to do it that works for me. So instead of you going with the status quo of how things are supposed to be, right? I love, she said the shoulds, you should all over yourself. I love that, right? Don't be surprised. I'm going to probably say that at some point. And it's, I'll give you credit the first 2 times and then I'm acting like I created that.
Take it,
right? But we should all over ourselves. And I love that you said, I'm going to create the life that I want to live. So in that moment, when you made that decision, which sounds easy now, trust and believe, I know back when you first made that decision, it was exciting in that first moment, but then the second moment hit like, oh shoot, how the heck am I going to eat? Right?
Yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah. And it just, because I was just so sick of like doing something that felt good, but not completely good, and being too scared to move forward with, wanting to really step outside the box. Because a lot of the time, like, it's so scary. We think that there's a way that we're supposed to do something, including like this whole online business world, or, this, everybody's supposed to have their funnel that looks like this. They're supposed to have a website that looks like this. There's all these supposed to's. And you feel like if you step outside that box, like something horrible is going to happen, or you're not going to be successful, or actually what you're doing is you're being in alignment with you. And whenever you're in alignment with you and what truly feels good to you, you are going to be successful.
Yes.
So if you're just doing something because people think that you're supposed to do it that way, and that's the way you're supposed to do it, it's not going to work for you. So I was like, all right, I gotta make this work for me. And so I decided that I didn't know how the hell I was going to do this, Nicole. No idea. Okay. No idea. But I was like, I am going to find a way that I can help people, because I love helping people. So coach people, help people feel amazing, help people get unstuck, help people become successful and feel incredible and manifest everything that they want, and, get their message out and, feel confident and amazing. I just love that. I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to perform. I'm going to combine the two somehow, and I will circle back and I will be on stage again. But I'm not going to do it the traditional way. I'm going to do it my own way. Don't know what that way is going to be, but I'm going to do it one day. And so I started from square one, and I just started building, it started as a personal training business.
Right.
It started actually just working at a gym as like a girl that picked up shit around the gym.
Right.
Okay? That's what I was. I couldn't even train people yet.
Right.
I had to work my way up, become a personal trainer. And then I left that gym and I built my own business, personal training. Then I had trainers work for me, under me. Like, I just kept following, the next step that felt good. There was no real plan. It was like, all right, I'm just going to continue to do what feels right to me.
And you know what's and let me tell you, this is, and I'm stopping here just because how many of you guys have this perfect laid out plan? You want and this was me, the 2.5 kids, the house, the husband, the car, I had it all laid out, right? The perfect life. And then God shows up and just shifts all of it. What is it? There's a saying that says, I'm going to say woman, not man. Woman makes plans and God laughs. And so I love that you said you didn't have a plan, because I believe, and I've seen this happen in my own business, that when I'm just in that moment, it's like a GPS, right? When we program a GPS, we put the destination in it. So you knew at the end of it, you wanted stage to be some part of it. You wanted all these things to be, but you didn't know how you were going to get there. That's the same thing we do with the GPS. We don't know how the heck we're going to get there, but we know the final address. And all we have to do in that moment is just take that next turn. And you don't know the turn after that until you take the turn before that. So I love that you said you didn't know, because it's in not knowing and trusting in that moment that makes a huge difference.
Oh my God, I have goosebumps. It's so true. Like, I always tell everybody, forget the how. You don't need to know the how right in the moment. You don't need to know how you're going to get there. Just take one little baby step every single day towards that. That's
so good. That's so good.
It. Because like you said, God can come in and change it all up. Your plan, when does a plan ever go as planned?
Never.
Ever. Like, very rarely. It always, we always say this or something better. So I say that I want, and honestly, that's what ended up happening to me, Nicole. Like, I had this vision of what, I wanted. And actually what I'm doing now is so much better than that vision. So it wasn't what the plan was initially, but it is, I'm performing. I'm doing Unfair Advantage Live with my soulmate, with the love of my life, and I'm helping people from the stage, and it is exactly what I wanted to do, but like, I didn't know it was going to be this good. Like, I really didn't, and so just have that big vision and trust that, like, if you keep going, it may not even be that vision that you imagined. It may be even better. So just keep following the little tiny, the breadcrumbs. What does Jen Kem call them? She's, I
can't even remember. She always has dropped such nuggets.
Oh my gosh.
Right, I can't keep up with that girl.
The divine breadcrumbs.
Right.
And just keep following them, and it will take you to exactly where you want to be, but maybe even better.
And the thing that I love about you is, and mind you, I've known her for all of a month, so take that with stride, right? But the minute I met Jen, I fell in love, right? Girl crush, totally, right? And the thing about it is your positivity that oozes out of your soul, right? So where did that come from? It's like, were you always this positive ray of energy and sunlight, or did like somebody pour that into you?
No. Oh my God. Wait. let me just really quick tell you that when I was on stage, this is something great to remember. When you go to a conference or something, or when you go to something and I think I told you this, you were giving me so much amazing energy at Unfair Advantage Live from the audience that I was like, I didn't even like have a conversation with you yet. And I was like, I love that girl.
Yeah.
Like, I was like feeding off of that. So thank you. I had girl crush immediately after you too. But okay, so positivity, no, I was not always positive. Definitely not. In fact, you would even not know, like you wouldn't even recognize me. I would say 10 years ago. I was a miserable bitch. And I had I really was. And Chris and I say this all the time. I work really, really hard every day to make my life easy. I work really, really hard every day to stay in a positive mindset. I work really hard. It's not like it just comes. It doesn't every single day. And I tell people my life changed when I did two things. All this positivity, everything started to happen when number one, I made my word of the year, my theme, connection. So I started making my focus of every single thing that I did was to connect with other human beings on an authentic, vulnerable level and get real and really connect with people. And the second thing that I did was I did a morning routine every single day that got me to a place where I could take action on that theme of connection. So I wake up every day and I do a couple of things every morning that get me into a positive mindset. And if I don't do those things, it's very, 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 very likely that I will not be in as good of a mood that day. And I will not have as successful as a day in my business, in my relationships, just in life in general. So,
and do you mind sharing with us the routine, your morning routine that works for you?
Oh my God, I love my morning routine. And first of all, just before I even share, it's okay for your morning routine to ebb and flow and to change.
Right.
So, it doesn't always have to be set in stone. So sometimes it does change, but for the majority of the time, I wake up every single morning and the first thing I do is I open my eyes. Well, now I turn to Chris, but when I was single, I would still say this. Today is going to be the best day ever. And even if I felt like shit, even if I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, like I had the worst dream or this day, like whatever, we have negative thoughts, but you just say it. Today is going to be the best day ever.
Right.
Then I make the bed immediately. Never used to do that, but that gives me a win right off the bat. So I won the day already because I've done something that even though it's that tiny little accomplishment, just making the bed, I feel accomplished. I feel clean. I feel like ready to go. It just kickstarts the day on a win. Then I sit down and I write 2 gratitude lists. So I always start my day with gratitude. My first gratitude list is just things that I'm grateful for in that moment. So it could be as simple as, I'm so grateful for this comfy chair that I'm sitting in, and as like extreme as, I'm grateful for, that I have the power to choose how this day is going to go, or I'm grateful for God, or I'm grateful for abundance and love. And then my second gratitude list is the really powerful one. And this is where I manifest things and I create things. And I shared this at UA. A lot of the things that I write on this future gratitude list actually manifest. So these are things that I'm grateful for that haven't necessarily happened yet, but I'm going to make happen. So I write them as if they've happened. So I used to write, before I met Chris, every single day, I would write, I'm so grateful I met the love of my life today. I'm so grateful that when I was building my coaching business, I'm so grateful that I, sold $10,000, worth of coaching today. Really detailed. And then I feel that gratitude. I feel like, because feeling and believing is really the secret towards taking action.
Yeah.
If you can feel what those results feel like, the fear of taking action dissipates.
Right.
So you're going to take action so much easier that day if you can feel what the success feels like, what that win feels like of what you want, and you can taste it and you feel it. Your brain starts to believe that it happened. So when you start to go do things that day to get you to that goal, it's so much easier because it's like, oh duh, I already have this.
Right.
Your brain is, this is familiar to me. I got it. It's not scary.
Right.
So that's why I do the second gratitude list. And
so
then
good.
Yeah. And then I always do my I ams, my little affirmations. So when I'm not feeling so hot, these are really important. Just no matter what, I always just say, like, I'll just write down and even read it to myself. Like, I'm beautiful. I'm perfect just the way that I am. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am in love. I'm full of love. I just give myself all kinds of juiciness. Like, You know, I just really am kind to myself and tell myself all the good things, even if, especially when and if I do not believe them. It is impossible to continue to not believe it if you read it and repeat it and look in the mirror and say it a couple of times. People may think this is super cheesy, but it always, always, always snaps me out of a bad mood and into a mood of gratitude and yes, I'm a badass and I rock and I'm going to crush this day.
And just to interrupt you for a second. So, you know, what keeps coming in my mind as you're talking is there's a saying called fake it till you make it. And I hate that saying, right? But it really does lend to not fake it necessarily, but be it until you can see it. So it's like when you become it before it's even real, your whole, your consciousness shifts. That's what faith is. It's the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So you can, if you shift your being around it before it even becomes real, it's almost like it has to become real because you're already waiting in alignment for it.
It is real. It is real. You're creating the reality right then and there. If I stand there and I say, I am a boss, like I am a multi-million-dollar successful coach that I'm helping millions of people. And I sit there and I say that's real. That's real. It is. It just is. And I love, oh my God. Yeah. Fake it till you make it. It's okay.
Yeah.
So you said what? Be it
till you see it.
Be it till you see it. That's so powerful. I love that so much. Oh my God, that's so good. I'm writing that one down.
Yeah. So we'll borrow from one another. You can totally have that one too. So you've given so much, Jen. And did I interrupt your morning routine? Was there anything else that you do in the morning after your IM?
The last thing I do is I meditate for 10 minutes. And meditation has completely changed my life. And I used to, you know, I have to be honest, like consistently meditating is tough for me. But every single time I read something or I remember just how powerful meditation is when it comes to productivity, when it comes to positivity, when it comes to creating what you want to create in this world, it's science. Like I'm like, I like to say like, I'm like realistic woo. Like I'm not too, I like science-backed stuff. I like real stuff and meditation. I was just at Emily Fletcher's book launch party last night, and she just wrote this book, Stress Less, Accomplish More, all about meditation and how it actually makes you a more productive person. And so when I can remember that when I am meditating, it's like working out my brain, like how I go to the gym and work out my muscles, then I meditate. And when I get into a phase where I'm meditating for weeks, months at a time, and that time where I really transformed my life, when I said I did these two things and the morning routine was one of them, I was meditating every single day. And I was the most creative I had ever been. I created the most things. I manifested the most things. I brought the most things into my life. And so I always just try to remember, wait, you were the most successful when you were meditating every day. So I meditate for 10 minutes every single day. Try.
So you've just put, you just kind of put a fire under my butt because I have this real goal of really, not necessarily learning how to meditate because I know how to meditate, but doing it. And so, you just put fire under my butt. So now tomorrow I'm committed to relaunch my 10-minute meditation every morning. So thank you for that. You didn't know you were getting on here today to do that. So with all the, and let me tell you guys, even though I'm hosting, I sit like a guest because I'm listening, because I'm learning, and you should see how many notes I have from Jen. So with everything, you know, letting go of all the shoulds, this is what I wrote from what you were saying, because as a coach, as a health coach, you help people work out their bodies, but really what you have done is really help people understand that same way, that if I want my body to be a certain way, then I can't pay you to work out for me. I've got to be willing to commit to do the work. So what you have in essence become is a person that helps us get our gym together for our life, not just our body, it's everything. And really what you've given us in the last 20 minutes or so, you've given us so many ways that we can really activate our mind, our body, and our soul. So with all of that said, Miss Jen, if there was anything else, you know, any other nugget you would tell a woman who is in a place where she's living in her shoulds, right? She needs to get rid of her shoulds. And she really is in a place where she's not in alignment with who she really is purposed to be. What would you tell her that she needed to do or be in this moment?
Oh man, one thing. I wouldn't even tell her just one. And another thing is like just an extra little added thing. You know, I was a health coach, and then that was another thing that I was shitting on myself, and I had to make another transition. And that's why now I'm doing all Unfair Advantage Live and Connection and everything like that. So what I do also want to tell all of the women is that you will continue to transform and to grow and to shift.
Yeah.
And it's okay. And you don't ever need to stay doing, like I know we said this already, but you don't ever need to stay doing a specific thing just because you've been doing it for years and everybody knows you as that thing, but it doesn't feel right to you. Shift. Do something different. Look at Madonna. How many times has Madonna changed her look, changed her,
Right.
you know, we love it. We love when Madonna reinvents herself.
Right.
One of the books that changed my life is Reinvent Yourself by James Altucher. So we can have different seasons of our lives and our business. And we can, but the beauty of being an entrepreneur is you can create anything whenever you want to create it.
Right.
So just because you've been doing one business for years and years and years and years and years, I know a lot of entrepreneurs that are like, oh, you know, I've gotten so successful as blank, insert whatever you're doing. And everybody knows me as this. I couldn't possibly shift into what I really want to do. Yeah, you can. It's just forgetting. So David Nagel, one of my mentors, said to me, when you care about yourself as much as you care what other people think, you will change your life.
Say that one more time. When you care about yourself as much, say it again.
As you care about yourself as much as you care about what other people think,
that's so
will
good.
change your life.
That's so good. What a powerful, powerful way to end. Jen, thank you. Thank you for all the insight. I know, look, you've shifted me. I'm getting ready to meditate, y'all. and you can totally hold me accountable to it because I know I need to do it. I have about 3 meditation apps on my phone right now that I don't use. So yeah. So thank you. Thank you for, first of all, thank you for letting go of your shoulds. Thank you for being bold and courageous. Thank you for fighting to allow your light to shine because it's bright. And it's so bright that girl almost had to put on sunglasses being around you. So thank you for being who you are and for loving all of us enough to make sure that we brighten our own shine.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and thank you for having me on this podcast and letting me talk to your amazing, amazing community, and for being you and for giving me your beautiful light and shining always.
Appreciate you, girl.
Me too.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of The Fierce Files. Now, I want you to walk away from these episodes with value, so grab your pen and answer either one or all 3 of these questions. Number 1, what was your greatest takeaway? Number 2, what will you do differently as a result of what you heard? So you may have heard something you've already heard before, or you may have learned something new. Either way, don't take the insight that was shared with you for granted. So commit to doing one thing different because of what you heard. Number 3, what was confirmation for you? What did you hear that confirmed you're on the right path? See, I want you to take a moment and celebrate you. Too often in our journey, we focus on what we're not doing and we forget to celebrate what we are doing. So what was something that showed you that you're headed in the right direction? Now, I want you to share your answers. Share your answer to either number 1, what was your greatest takeaway? Number 2, what would you do different? Or number 3, what was confirmation for you? And share it in our Facebook community. So go to findyourfiercemovement.com and use the hashtag FierceFiles. Now, each experience we encourage, support, and celebrate as a community. It allows us to expand in possibility and wisdom, in encouragement and love. Now, we've invited you into our community to deepen our journey with being the answer someone needs and in being committed to your next level. So until the next time, be extraordinary, be unapologetic, be bodaciously you, go and be fierce.